guys, everybody have their article in front of them, your passage in front of you? Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to identify the text topic. Identify means to look or to figure out what the text topic is. Topic means what it's about. So the first place I would go is to the title. The title says, Hooray for Hummingbirds. Everybody see the title?
Yeah.
All right. In the title, Hooray for Hummingbirds, what do you think the topic is about in this passage?
Hummingbird?
Hummingbirds. Right. Now, why would you say hummingbirds?
Because he said it here.
Because it says it right there. Great. All right. The next thing we're going to talk about is any knowledge that you might have about a hummingbird. And if you don't know what a hummingbird is, that's okay, because it's not we don't talk about hummingbirds a lot. But we do know things about birds, right? So let's talk about things about birds. If you know something about a hummingbird, great, share it with us. But if you know something about just a bird, share that too. Anybody know anything about birds or a hummingbird? No? What do you know about birds? They fly fast, okay. How do you say birds in Spanish? Pájaros. All right. What do you know about pájaros? Pájaros. Ba. What do you know about those? Come on, you know something about birds. What do you know about them? They what? What do you know about birds? Say it.
He said that it's small.
They said what?
It's small.
Some of them are small. You're right. Some birds. And I think the bird we're going to read about, hummingbirds, they are small. What do you know about other birds? What do they build?
Nest?
Nests. See, you know something about birds. They build nests. All right. The nest is kind of like their what?
Home.
Their home. Good. All right. What do they do in the nest? What does a mama bird do in the nest?
Eggs.
Have eggs, lay eggs, that's right, okay? And that's her babies, all right? Let's go back to the nest or their house. What do they build the nest out of? Do you know what they use to build the nest?
Nope.
Dilo en español, está bien. ¿The what? Pino. ¿Cómo? ¿Cómo se dice pino en inglés? Sí. That's right. It's from the árboles, the trees. What do you call those? The sticks or the branches from the trees? Good. Yeah, that's what they use. You're right. So that's their home. How do they get there? Fly. Okay. Since we're talking about birds, and we know that they fly, what do you hear at the beginning of the word fly? What sound you hear? Cool. What two letters do you think say cool? Fabiola. What letter do you think says? What do you think? En español. La letra en su nombre, el primer letra. F, okay? So if we look in this passage and we see a word that starts with an F, it might have something to do with flying, right? So think about that. We know this is about birds. We know birds live in nests. We know that they fly. So think about those vocabulary words when we finally get to read the passage. Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to number the paragraphs, all right? So take your pen and number the paragraphs. And let's see if we all come up with the same number. I'll do it too. Can somebody let, oh, thank you. Okay, did you ask the media center? You did? Uh-huh, they didn't let you? Okay, grab my laptop. All right, how many paragraphs did you get?
4.
4? How many did you get? 4? Anybody get a different number? Here, bring it to me, I'll turn it off so you can turn it back on. Everybody got 4, good. All right, so we've got 4 paragraphs in this passage. I want you all to look at paragraph number 1, and I want you to look in paragraph number 1 and highlight any words you don't know. Maybe find 2. If there are 2 words in paragraph 1 that you don't know, highlight them, and we're going to talk about them in a minute. Now you can turn it back on and log in, okay? Okay, all right. Everybody find 1 or 2 words in paragraph number 1? All right, Anderson showed a couple of words, and I'm just gonna write them on here, what he highlighted. Do you all see this in paragraph number 1?
Yeah.
Okay, what I know about this is that it's the same letter over and over again, right? And usually in a word, we've gotta have different letters. This tells me that I'm just making the Z sound over again, like this. So, do you think this is a word, or do you think this is a sound? A sound, okay? So, let me tell you what that's called. That's called an onomatopoeia. It's a sound word, all right? So that's what that is. The next one he also talked about was this. And in text, did you all see this at the bottom, or the last sentence of paragraph 1? All right, it says zip, zip, zip. Now these are words, zip, sip, zip, but I think they're trying to make it kind of make the sound of the hummingbird, okay? So these are sound words too. All right, let's see what word you chose, okay? I'm gonna write it down. Let's see if anybody else selected this word too. We're just gonna talk a little bit about the vocabulary in here. Did anybody else write this word down? No? Does anybody know this word? What is this word? Oh, but you wrote it down? Does anybody know what this word is? Okay, I'll read it and then maybe you'll know what it is. Nectar. Does anybody know what nectar is?
Like the food that they get.
Excellent. Say it again.
Like the food that they get.
Where do they get nectar? The food. Right. Can you say that in Spanish?
Lo agarran de las flores.
And it's the what? Comida? The food that they get from the floor, the flowers. So that's nectar, okay? Any other word? Did you have a word highlighted? Good. What about you? No, Fabiola, what about you? The second one? Oh, okay, worrying, yes. Worrying. And this is a word, but it's kind of a sound word too. When they say the wings whirring a hummingbird, all right? So wings whirring, a hummingbird buzzes up to a flower. So whirring is describing how the wings are moving, okay? So those, so we've got nectar, the food that the hummingbirds eat, or birds eat. We've got whirring, the way the wings move, all right? You know how wings move in a bird? Yeah, there you go, good, thanks for the model. Okay, any other word in paragraph 1? No? What about this word? I'm pretty sure you know what this word is, but you might not be able to read it, because it's spelled funny. Anybody know what that word is? It's hard to sound it out, because you can't sound it out the way it looks. Alright? Uh-huh, it is. She's right. Do you know how to say that in English? No? Tongue. Tongue. Okay, so lingua, right? Alright, so tongue. And why do you think they're talking about a tongue with a bird? Why do you think we need to know about a bird's tongue in this passage?
Because that's how they get the nectar.
That's how they get the nectar, right. And what did we say nectar was? The food, right. So, in paragraph 1, we talk about nectar, which is the what? The food. And where do they get nectar? From the flowers. And how do they drink the nectar? with their tongue, okay? And how did the hummingbirds move? With their wings. How did we describe the wings? Anybody remember that word? That WH word? Worry? Not worrying like you're thinking about something, but whirring. Alright? Okay? Now, the last thing that we're gonna do with this this story today is we're gonna make predictions about this text. Okay? What does predictions mean? Predictions. The root word is predict. What do you know about predict? When do we predict? Or what is a prediction? What does it do? What does it mean when we make a prediction? Say it. It's okay. What do you think it is? So if I use this sentence, I predict that Atlanta United will win the soccer championship. All right? When I use the word predict, what does that mean?
So you think that
I think?
they're gonna win?
That's right. Or I'm making a what? Talk to me. What am I making? I think they're gonna win. I'm making a. If I don't know the answer, but I predict it, I'm making a. I'm guessing, right? I'm guessing, or I'm thinking what's gonna happen, okay? So I'm predicting. So let's predict what this passage is gonna be about. What is this passage gonna be about?
Bird.
The hummingbirds, okay. What else? What about hummingbirds? Well, we know something about nectar. So in this passage, we're probably gonna learn what hummingbirds eat, okay? How do the hummingbirds move around? How do they move? Say it. How do they move? Huh? With their wings. And what do we call that? Driving? Jumping? No. What? Flying. Right. That's how the hummingbirds move. So in this passage, we're going to talk about hummingbirds. We'll talk about what they eat. We'll talk about how they get to places, right? They don't take an Uber, do they? No, they fly there. We're going to talk about that. So what do you think we're going to learn about in this passage? What are we going to learn about in this passage? We talked about the topic in the title. What are we going to learn about? Say it. Hummingbirds, thank you. Okay, put your article back in your folder. Pass me your folder. Group 2, if you will log off of your laptops.